Okay, so I'm preparing for an interview, and I'm going to share my thoughts while I do that. So, because I'm trying to get a job, and I want to be a structural engineer, and I want to get my professional engineer's license, and be a civil engineer through and through. And so that's where I'm starting. But I wanted to share about how yesterday went because I didn't get a chance to post yesterday. So basically, we went to the University of Maryland College Park, and we did a joint session with Hopkins, Baltimore County, UMBC, and UMD, which is University of Maryland College Park. And so their entrepreneurship programs have a lot of amazing state resources that, they shared with us, and we're like, hey, man, you can check out this grant, check out that grant, things like that. And so it was really good to get that experience and to really see their perspective on it, I think the biggest thing right now is just trying to figure out how to navigate it's coming to the point where like I'm having these conversations on a regular basis with the people that are in the space, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. Like y'all are talking to me, I'm talking to y'all. Like what in the world are we trying to build, right? And I'm building consistency with that, building volume with that. And now I'm starting to ask those design questions, and I'm starting to get people that are interested in working with me, and I'm super excited. But at the same time, I'm just trying to be patient. That's probably been the recent learning is just like, don't rush it. It's going to come. So, yeah. Beyond that, like, I think just trying to figure out how to bring people along with me, trying to be consistent with stuff like this, trying to, continue to ask questions, not really rush to anything in particular. Like, I think it's a big deal to gain experience in a space right away rather than like just saying like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go and like build stuff in space like by yourself. Are you? And so that's really the advice that I've gotten from some mentors, but then also just like, practically. I know that I don't have like I haven't been on any missions. Like missions take decades, So, I think especially now, like, there's a lot of opportunity, from the commercial side of things. But at the same time, the reality of the situation is that government and defense is really where, you have to start when you're talking about going to space. And so like, that's the conversations we've been having here. It's just like, how does that work? Who are you targeting for your customers? And really just like trying to understand how in the world I'm going to frame my product. And, we'll get there. I think there are things that I won't be able to share, just because of classified information or, like defense things, and sorry guys, can't share it. But like I think as I talk about design, I can definitely share like not necessarily my insecurities, but like just those things that I'm like, man, like what does it mean to design something well almost, and like talk through like the things that I'm exploring, and ask for you guys' thoughts, because it's really going to be a humanity impacting solution. It's going to be inspired by what people around the world that are experts in their spaces believe and think, but then also what the public sees, and like I can build something that's technically amazing, but then if it doesn't satisfy the customer, that's like, am I safe in that? Like that looks unsafe, like they're not going to use it, and it's not going to be sold. So that's also part of it too, is like coming from a civil engineering background versus like stepping into an aerospace background the last couple of years, or aerospace space the last couple of years, it's different. And so lighter, faster, stronger is the things that, and, you know, less material, it's got holes, you know. The trusses are visible and slender in different spaces and thicker in others, and, you know, versus like in a bridge, that truss is the same member all the way through, right? So, you know, it definitely just depends on the type of materials and all this stuff, all the boundary conditions, like how they're fastened to where they're fastened to. That's what boundary conditions means. And so, in layman's terms, but yeah, that's kind of, you know, where everything is. And, you know, I think I'm excited the most about all the excitement that I've been getting. Like, the people around me that are like really just excited about the idea and excited to share what they've been learning. I've literally just finished having a conversation with, I might put him on here because he's a brother of one of the guys that is starting a company here. And, you know, he's just really like loves learning and like wants to do his PhD one day. And I was just like sharing with him my experience and just like saying, bro, go for the PhD, bro. It's so worth it. And, like, the experience is amazing. And so it's tough, but it's real. Like, it's where, you know, it's where you really figure out if you're made for the metal, you know, if you're really about that life, about your business, you know. And so that's really, that was really something, a growth for me. Because, you know, transitioning out of PhD has been hard, like, genuinely. And I'm like, man, like, this is what I dreamed of, like, this is what I was going for, like, this is my goal initially. And I struggle with, like, transitioning in the moment, that, like, taking, like, oh, yeah, this is my, like, tunnel vision, go for it. And then saying no. like, that's tough, man. And so, like, making that adjustment internally was like, all right, you know, switch, boom, make it happen, things like that. Got it done with the master's and, you know, wrapped up my program. But, you know, as I am now, you know, stepping out and working and trying to figure out what it is that I'm doing, just inspiring and encouraging, really, not even inspiring, but like encouraging other people. He's right out there. I'm looking at him right now. That's why I'm just like so inspired by him. But like, yeah, like, you know, encouraging him in that moment was really cool for me, especially because it was a place that, like, I know God led me to and I know God led me out of. But ultimately, like, as I move in and move out of spaces, you know, cycling through the emotions of that experience, as tough as it was, and then, you know, feeling all of what it was, mourning it genuinely, and then, you know, continuing to move forward, processing it with community, and not just processing it on my own, was really important for me. And so that was really the thing that allowed me to be at peace moving forward. I talked to God about it, talked to some folks that I trusted as mentors and counselors, and then, you know, here we are, you know, sharing it on Instagram. Crazy. So, like, that's really the experience that I've had, and shout out to YouTube. Hey, YouTube, you know, no, I don't want to leave y'all out on TikTok and whoever else, LinkedIn, wherever else we post this. But, like, you know, that's really my experience so far and what today holds. It is Friday, June 27th. I don't think I'm going to date these, but, you know, 2025, man. It's good to note. So I think moving forward, next steps for me, I'm going to continue to reach out to all these amazing people in the aerospace industry that build stuff, and that send up rockets and send up missions and do different things that create these amazing insights for when we do live on the moon, when we do create structures in space, and what that looks like long term. Not sure, you know, of a lot of things, but one thing is for certain, that it matters that we're up there. And so, you know, I think that's really the only thing I'm focusing on moving forward. And like I always say, we'll see what happens. So that's really it, guys. And I'll talk to y'all later.